After oil was found in the Arab countries of the Persian Gulf, their everyday life has changed unbelievably. But what will happen to them when their oil reserves run out? Pretty interesting question, right? Let's discuss this in more details. According to the latest estimation by British Petrolium, world oil reserves should last for 54 years. The Middle East remains the world leading region in terms of oil reserves, 795 billion barrels or 48.1%. Unsurprisingly, 6 countries in this region are among the 20 richest countries in the world. Oman. 50 years ago, Oman was an extremely closed country where there were no hospitals, no schools, no roads, and even no radio. Under the ban were even boots and sunglasses. The modern history of the Sultanate of Oman began on July 23, 1970, when the Sultan Said bin Taymur was forced to renounce from his seat in favor of his son, 29-year-old Qaboos. The young Sultan inherited a poor and torn by contradictions country, in which there were only 3 public schools. After Sultan Qaboos got the seat, Oman, as the locals say, woke up. Oil profits came in very well, and as a result, today Oman is one of the most developed states in which everything is created for its residents. Here, upon reaching the age of 18, each citizen is given a plot of land to build a house, and upon the main holiday in the country, the Sultan announced a loan amnesty. Oman is moving on the right path toward diversifying the economy and is gradually becoming less dependent from oil. Therefore, it is increasingly attracting foreign investment and developing tourism. Qatar is one of the first oil-producing countries in the Middle East to understand early the need for a transition from an oil-based economy to an economy based on the development of other industries. Therefore, long time they strive to diversify the sources of national income and integrate into the global economy. Thus, Qatar's economy is successfully coping with the consequences of the economic blockade by the Emirates and Saudi Arabia and continues to comprehensively grow according to the plan for the development of the state until 2030. Some economic measures have been taken to stimulate domestic and foreign investments. The oil industry provides more than 55% of GDP and 70% of government revenue. Like the other Arab countries in Persian Gulf, Kuwait is developing through oil production. Kuwait has huge salaries, no taxes, and the state also pays each newborn $3,000. In addition, citizens receive an interest-free loan of $220,000. It is Kuwait that has reserves of high-quality oil. It produces the best car oil. Mostly, Kuwaiti oil goes to Japan and other Asian countries. The proven oil reserves of small Kuwait are estimated at 100 billion barrels. Together with Saudi Arabia, Kuwait remains one of the rare oil producers country whose reserves will last at least 100 years. From the country's income, 10% is allocated to a special fund of future generations. Natural reserves are not endless, and the state understands it perfectly. The loss of oil for Kuwait is painful but not fatal. Saudi Arabia. It is the most oil-rich country among the Arab and the second in the world after Venezuela. Thus, experts estimated the oil reserves of Saudi Arabia at 262 billion barrels. With current oil production in the country, it will last for 72 years. To diversify the economy, Saudi Arabia opens its doors to new tourists regardless of religion. But religious tourism is also well developing in the country. In Bahrain, commonly known as the Oil Kingdom, oil ran out 10 years back. Oil fields are almost empty. However, Bahrain still remains on the list of the richest countries in the world. Another Arab state that has become famous throughout the world is the United Arab Emirates. In 1980, the Emirates received 93% from their oil revenues into the budget of state. Till the end of 2019, money from the sale of oil made up only 29% of total revenues, and in the Emirate of Dubai, only 6%. From approximately 9 million people living in the Emirates, only 2 million are citizens of the country, and the rest are migrants from Egypt, Pakistan, India, Iran, and other Asian countries. In the UAE, there is not one, but several sovereign funds replenished from income from the export of black gold. Such funds are open in almost every emirate for the next generation. The total amount of all funds is more than $1.5 trillion. For the Emirates, this is a tremendous amount given that the country's population is just under 2 million people. The state fully supports the emergence of a new full-fledged citizen. For example, even before the wedding, young people can get an interest-free loan from the marriage fund, about $100,000, and it is not necessary to repay it. For the birth of a new citizen, happy parents will receive up to $20,000. When oil rises in price, the state automatically repays household loans partially or in fully. The average salary is about $4,000 per month, and this is due to the fact that the indigenous people of the Emirates does not like to do the hard job, preferring the public services where jobs are specially created for them. Becoming a citizen of the United Arab Emirates is only by being born in the family of citizens, and you will never become a citizen even after 20 or even 30 years of residing in the Emirates. According to the UAE constitution, a woman can study and work on a par with a man. The state supports entrepreneurship and foreign investment, but everyone who wants to open their own businesses in the Emirates must enlist the support of a citizen of the country who must own 51% of the shares, regardless of whether he takes part in the business or not. Therefore, local residents buy expensive villas, luxury cars in car dealerships. The Emirates did everything to get rid of the oil needle and spent $35 billion for this. The best conditions for doing business and the absence of a tax rate have made Dubai one of the financial centers of the world. The country's leadership has long invested oil revenues in other sectors of the economy and has achieved tremendous success. Now the UAE is OPEC's most oil-independent country. As in other Arab countries, human behavior is regulated by religion, but women in the UAE feel a little more at ease than in neighboring countries. The tourist flow in the UAE is about 20 million a year. If they spend $100, then this is already 2 billion. But on average, every tourist spends $1,000 if not more. The Emirate of Abu Dhabi boasts the most environmentally friendly city in the world. This is the city of Masdar, 17 kilometers away from the capital. This city does not use carbon raw materials at all, and all the energy is generated by a solar power station and solar panels on the roofs of buildings. The city is one of the first to want to introduce cars and air taxis. Of course, all this is a bit like a fantasy, but it is true. Etisalat, together with Audi and Airbus, presented the prototype of the flying car named Pop-Up Next. All the above words confirm the fact that even deserts can become a comfortable place to live if the resources are used wisely for the benefit of inhabitants. The United Arab Emirates and other countries of the desert region are the best evidence of this. How will Arabs live after the oil runs out? The answer is simple. They will live perfectly, although after 50 or even 100 years. Oil may not be as important as it is now. What do you think about this subject? Leave your opinion in the comments, subscribe and click on the bell so you won't miss our new interesting videos. Goodbye and see you soon.